Hi and welcome to Bio 103. This is your instructor Julia Nicholas, and in this video we will go over everything you need to know to get started with the course. In this video I'm going to go over how to get in contact with your instructor, what is Bio 103, go over the course layout in Canvas, some important dates for the term, go over a little bit of information from the course syllabus, such as the text and an overview of assignments and grading, and then go over how to succeed in an online course. This is me, your instructor, Julia Nicholas, and there's two different ways you can get in contact with me. One is by my email, juliamnicholas@faculty.klamathcc.edu, where there's also an email link in the course site that you can send emails to me through. I don't get back to emails quite as quickly as I do to text messages, so emails, usually I'll get back to you within a day or so. Text messages, most of the time I have my phone on me and will get back to you pretty quickly. So if you are working on an assignment and want to get in touch with me quickly, feel free to send me a text message. And my phone number for that is on the course syllabus and is also under the week 1 extra credit link in the course site. And we'll go over where that is coming up here soon. Start by going over a few frequently asked questions about the course. So first off, what is Bio 103? It's a 3-unit lecture, 1-unit lab course. It's a laboratory science course designed for non-majors. And another question that comes up is how much time will this course take each week? So with the 3-unit lecture, 1-unit lab course, normally if it was on campus, you'd go to 3 hours of lecture per week. And then for lab, you'd go to 3 hours of lab per week. So we will try to have about that same amount of time for this course. The lecture portion on campus, you'd normally have your 3 hours of lecture and then about 3 to 6 hours of homework each week, and you should expect to spend about the same amount of time in the online course. Typically, we'll have a lot less actual lecture, so you might spend an hour or so watching the lecture video or reviewing lecture slides, 1 to 2 hours per week on the discussions, about 3 to 6 hours per week on the chapter reading and outline if you have to do an outline for the week. And then there are also quizzes each week based on that, the weekly reading and homework. The labs should take total about 3 to 4 hours each week. So most weeks you'll have a lab activity from your kit and you'll submit either a lab worksheet or some sort of other lab assignment, which will usually contain photos from your dissections. And then you'll have a short quiz each week on the lab that you're doing. So hopefully overall, your lab will be about in the 3 to 4 hour range. The labs this term are a lot more on dissections, and so you're going to be spending a lot more time, probably compared to other terms, actually doing the actual lab. And we won't have the lab reports that we have in other terms. So you won't be having as much to write up, but you will be having a lot to actually do in terms of dissection, and then you'll submit pictures showing your work for most weeks, and then again a quiz that goes over some of the parts that you're learning about in your dissections. A few more questions here. Do you have to be enrolled in the lab? And the answer is yes, unless you have already taken and passed the lecture. So you need to take the lecture and lab together, but if you have already passed one of these sections, then you may be taking just one or the other to make up the section that you did not pass prior to this. Next question, can I work with other students on assignments? And again, yes, working with other students can be very helpful. I think in an online course, you can talk about the assignments or do labs together. The only caveat to this is when you sit down to type out your answers, you should each be writing your own answers in your own words. So if you do something together, you'll each submit your own documents written in your own words, but you can do the entire lab or other activity together, just write it up in your own words. And lastly, how do you get help with the course? And the quickest way to get help is to send a text message to my cell phone. My phone number is in Canvas on the course site. I generally have my phone on me from about 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. We'll usually get back to you pretty quickly. So that's, again, the quickest way if you need to if you're working on an assignment, you need help right away. You can also send me an email and I'll get back to you within about 24 hours. I just don't see the emails pop up on my end automatically. So I don't see those as quickly as I see the text messages. I also have office hours on Thursday from 6 to 7, but you're welcome to ask me questions at any time during the week that you need help. Your textbook is the same textbook as you used in Bio 101, and you will need your textbook to complete assignments for week 2. So if for some reason you did not take 101 and don't have a textbook yet, make sure you get that as quickly as possible. There is a discussion and some homework that you'll need the textbook for in week 2. And the textbook that we're using is Biology, A Guide to the Natural World, 5th edition by David Crow. This is what the textbook looks like right here. Biology 103 is the study of life, and in Bio 103 we'll learn about different kingdoms of life, including fungi, plants, and animals. And for the animal portion, we'll be covering all of the human body systems in a lot of detail for a majority of the course. And for the lab portion, to correspond to that, we will be dissecting for a lot of the course a fetal pig. And so you'll be dissecting the pig, which is actually fairly similar in anatomy to a human. And so we'll be dissecting that fetal pig and then comparing that to all of the human body systems. Let's go over a few important dates for summer term, just so you're aware of them. And summer term, the last day to drop the course for a full refund and the last day to add a class, if you need to add or drop any of your classes, is Friday, June 28th. So this would be a good week right now. You're in this first week of courses to look through your courses, make sure that you are ready to do the work that's required for those courses for the summer. Summer term does go at a bit faster pace than we do during the rest of the year. So take a look at the assignments, your course load, make sure that you are able to take the courses that you signed up for. And if you need to drop anything, the best day to drop is by this Friday so that you can make sure you get a full refund. We don't really go by the holidays in the online because you don't have anything due on that specific day. So the next important date here is the last day to withdraw with a W, and that's Friday, August 2nd. This will show up on your syllabus quiz, so pay attention to that date here. And then finals week is August 19th through the 23rd. Your final will be due on Wednesday of this week, which I believe is the 21st. And the last day that the term shuts down and grades get submitted is Friday, August 23rd. Let's next go over where to go to get started with the course, and that is a site called Canvas. And Canvas is the site where all of your course information is located. It's where you'll go to find and submit all of your assignments, view your lectures, take your tests, and view your grades and email. And that is at a site called klamathcc.instructure.com. Once you have it in your web address here, either bookmark that or your web address will probably keep it there for you, but you'll be going to that site a lot throughout the term, so that's a good one to have handy. Your username that you will enter goes right here, and that is your, I believe it's a 6-digit student ID number, and then you'll have a password that you should have for that. And this is the same username and password for all your courses. Once you enter those in, you'll click Login. It should take you to a screen like this when you log in. This is your dashboard, and it will show you icons for all of your classes. It also has on the left here, you can see usually takes you first to the dashboard. You can click on courses, and that will show you a list of your courses in more of a list format. And there's a calendar feature, an inbox feature, and we'll go over all those in just a little bit. The main thing from your dashboard when you log in there that's nice to keep track of is it has this little microphone icon or megaphone icon, and that means that you have an announcement, a new announcement for the course. So if you see this icon here, click on that icon. It will take you to any new announcements for the course, and that would be the case with any of your courses. And that's just a note from your instructor letting you know something important about the course. When you click on the course that you want to go into, for example, if you're going into the biology course, you will see links here on the left, and these are all the different main areas you can go to for the course. So the home page, the main thing that will have on the home page is the recent announcements for the course, and you'll want to make sure that you check out those announcements when you log into the course. If there's anything new, that's where I'll post that information or anything you need to know for the course that's come up. There's also a link to the course syllabus. Modules has all of your course content in it, and we'll go over each of these in detail in the next coming up slides. Assignments has a list of all your assignments. Grades is where you can go to check out your grades. There's also a chat feature if you want to chat with other students in the course, and some other features here as well. So let's go over each of those in detail next. First tab that we're going to go over is the Modules tab here, and this is the tab where most of your coursework for the term is located. So when you click on Modules, the first, and a module is just a group of assignments, or your assignments broken down by group. And so I've broken down the assignments in a Start Here module, and then after that the modules are broken down by week. So for the Start Here module, there's the Welcome to Bio 103, which has the video you're watching now. Below that is the KCC institutional syllabus, and then there's a link to the course syllabus right here. So the first things that you'll want to do this week are review the institutional syllabus and the course syllabus, and then take the syllabus quiz. The syllabus quiz is what establishes your attendance for the course, so that needs to be done this week as soon as possible. If you have not taken the syllabus quiz by Friday, then you will be dropped from the course for non-attendance. So that's very important to make sure you get that done first. Under the Start Here module are the weekly modules, and so it starts off with week 1, and there's a module for each week 1 through 9 for the term. So the first thing under the weekly modules is a weekly overview. This goes over the objectives, activities, and assignments for the week, so that's a good thing to take a look at first each week just to make sure you know what to do for the week. After that is another link to the syllabus quiz just to make sure that you don't miss that in this first week. And then we get into all of the lecture assignments. There's the lecture header there, and below that is a list of all the lecture assignments that you'll need to be doing for the week. So most weeks you'll have a chapter lecture, possibly 2 chapter lectures, 1 to 2 chapter quizzes, and then you may have a weekly discussion, you may have a chapter outline, you may have both. It depends for the week that we're working on. And then in this particular week, there's an opportunity for extra credit. And if you contact me during this first week, send a text message to me, you can earn 10 points of extra credit. So you'll click on this link here and put in a comment that you contacted me with a text message, and then I will enter in your extra credit points. Below the lecture assignments is the link to the lab assignments. And so your lab assignments for the week will be under the lab link there. Your only assignment this week is to get your lab kit ordered. Since there's a lot to do to get started for the week, I've kept the lab very simple this week so that you can just focus on getting started, and your official labs will start next week. One thing to keep in mind for the course is you do get a separate lecture and lab grade, so keep an eye on your assignments and your grades for both lecture and lab if you are enrolled in both lecture and lab. If you're enrolled in the lab, then you're going to need a lab kit to do your labs at home. And if you go to modules under week 1 and scroll down to the lab header, there's this quiz called week 1 lab order lab kit. So if you click on that, it will pop up with this screen here and give you the instructions on how to order your lab kit. Once you have ordered your lab kit, then you will answer the question at the bottom of the quiz stating that you've ordered your lab kit, hit submit, and then you'll get your points for this first assignment for ordering your lab kit. There's 2 ways you can order your lab kit. One is if you have a credit card, you can go to this address here, and again, you can click on this link through this link here. And you'll fill out the information and order your lab kit through this link here. If you are using financial aid or need to pay with cash, then you can go to the bookstore in person, or if you're using financial aid, go to the bookstore website here and follow these instructions. That will get you what's called a voucher, and it's a code that you will take to a different website, this website here, and enter in your voucher code, and then your lab kit will be shipped to you. So It does take a couple of weeks to get your lab kit to you, so please make sure that early in this week, as early as possible, you get your lab kit ordered so that it can be mailed to you, and we'll begin using your lab kits in week 3. I believe if you order your voucher online through the bookstore website, they will mail you the voucher code. Once you get that in the mail, then you will need to go to this website here and enter in your voucher code. If you have any questions as you're trying to order your lab kit, don't hesitate to ask. So give you the ability in the course to skip 1 lecture assignment and 1 lab assignment. Your lowest score will automatically be dropped from the course, and this is the score that lowers your grade the most. So if you choose to skip an assignment, I'll enter a 0 as your score since you didn't do that assignment, and then that 0 will automatically be dropped if it's your lowest score. The only exception is, let's say you do really badly on a test, and say you get 30 out of 100 on a test, and you were planning on dropping an outline, which is worth 50 points. So you had a 0 out of 50 on that outline, and that was the score being dropped, but then you come along and you get a really bad test score. The system will then drop that test score, since that test score is losing you 70 points against your total grade. So it's hurting your grade more than the 0 out of 50 on the outline. So then that test score will get dropped instead. Now you have the option, you can go back and do this, this outline, or you can still skip it. But just as a heads up, that doesn't happen very often, but it is possible to happen, that you could do really badly on assignment and that would get dropped instead of the assignment you were planning on having dropped. But either way, 1 low assignment will be dropped, and generally it's your choice. Whichever assignment you want to choose just not to do, you can have that be dropped. The other option is you do all the assignments, and again, if you did badly, say on something like a test, that test will be dropped. The only thing you can't drop for the course is the final. If you took Bio 101 with me, the remaining slides cover general information about grading and course layout. It's the same as you saw in Bio 101, so you can stop watching the video at this point if you'd like to. Of course, welcome to continue watching it if you want to. But if you didn't take Bio 101 with me, please continue watching for some more information about the course. Let's cover next how to get in contact with me. So as I mentioned earlier, you can send me emails through Canvas, and I will try to check my email at least once a day. If you're working on an assignment and need help more quickly, the fastest way to get in touch with me and get your questions answered is with a text message. And students will often ask what time is appropriate to send texts, and I generally have my phone on me between 6 a.m. and 10 p.m. and don't feel bad about sending a text. That's what I'm here for, and I'm happy to help. So anytime you need help, definitely feel free to send a text or email if that's easier for you. My phone number is located in the syllabus, or if you go under modules in the course, go to week 1, there's a week 1 extra credit link right here. And this is an optional assignment, but you can click on that one to get my phone number if you need that. And if you would like the extra credit for that, send me a text or email during this first week and let me know your name and your course number and section, and then click on that week 1 extra credit. That is an assignment you can submit saying that you contacted me and by what method, and then you'll receive 10 extra credit points for submitting that week 1 extra credit assignment. So here's the calendar, and if you click, this is on the very left on the red links, if you click the calendar button here, it takes you out of the course and takes you to a calendar where you can view assignments for any of your online courses. If you were to click on these buttons here, it would make the assignments for that course show up on your calendar. If you unclick them, it will make those assignments go away from your calendar. So you can choose to only look at assignments for a certain course or to look at assignments for all of your course. So it's your choice on what you want to view on the calendar. If you click on this arrow here, it will take you to the next month, so you can scan through any of the months and all the assignments you have due. If you, from this point, want to go back to the class, you could hit the back arrow button to get back to the course, but the other way would be to click on the dashboard or courses link and reselect the course. Below the calendar button is the inbox link, and when you click on that, you'll go to the email system through Canvas, And in this section here would be a list of any emails that you have sent or received. And this feather button here, actually this will just show you, you can choose to select if you want to see your inbox or your sent box, and that would show up here. If you want to compose a new email, you would click this feather button here, and you could choose to send an email to any one of your instructors that are using Canvas. For this course, email of course is just fine. I tend to check the email system about once a day, so depending on when you send the email to me, you may not get a reply for a day or two later. I will try to get to those as soon as possible, but it tends to take a day or two for me to see and reply to your email. If you are wanting a fast reply, you're working on an assignment and have a question you would like to get answered quickly, text messages are the fastest and easiest way to get a hold of me. And I'll go over a little bit later where to find my phone number to send me text messages. If you can't do that, of course, emails are just fine. It is quicker to send text messages if you are able to do that. The assignments tab on the left is helpful to look at if you're wanting to just go over an overview of all the assignments for the course and what you've done so far and what you have left to do. So it just gives a list of all the assignments due, all assignments and all tests for the lecture portion of the course, and then below that for the lab portion of the course. The next link down below assignments is grades. And when you click on this link here, you can see a list of all of your different assignments, their due date, and then this column here would be your score out of how many points. So for example, if you got 10 out of 10, it would say a 10 right here. If you got 9 out of 10 points, it would show a 9 right here. If you go down to the very bottom, it shows your total for the course. And so it will have your total score for the course down here. It allows you to sort by due date or by type of assignment. And so you can sort your assignments differently if you'd like to sort them that way. There is a feature here to calculate, if you unclick this here where it says calculate based on graded assignments, it says you can view your grades based on what if scores so that you know how your grade will be affected by upcoming assignments. So for example, if you want to put in a 0 for assignment and see what would happen to my overall score if I got a 0 on this assignment, I believe you can do that there. So that's your grade section. Make sure that you check that frequently. Our grading for the course is standard 90 to 100% is an A, 80 to 89% is a B, 70 to 79% is a C, etc. And remember that if you're in the lecture and lab section, you'll receive a separate lecture and lab grade, so make sure you check your grade in each of those sections. A little bit more on grades. My goal is to grade assignments within a week of the due date. So if you have an assignment that you turn in, let's say a week 1 assignment, then everybody should have that turned in by the end of week 1. So by the end of week 2, I hope to have that assignment graded. If there's an assignment that hasn't been graded yet and you really like to know how you did, because maybe you're getting ready to start on another assignment and you want to make sure you're doing things right, then let me know and I will try to grade your assignment sooner if you need that graded sooner. So just let me know if you're waiting on a grade and it's important to get that back more quickly. And you'll receive a separate lecture and lab grade, so make sure that you check your grades in both sections if you're in both sections often. And I'd really like to have all your grades be perfect, but errors do happen. If you see something that doesn't look right, don't panic. Let me know as soon as possible, and we will work on getting your grades fixed. I went over the modules tab a little bit earlier. Let's go over that in detail and take a little bit closer look at what you'll be doing each week. So again, modules is on the left-hand side, that tab. And when you click on the modules link, it will take you to a weekly breakdown of all your assignments. The first thing to do for each week is read the weekly overview. And I'll go over anything specific that you need to know for the week, along with a list of your assignments and what you should be learning throughout the week. In this first week, there's a syllabus quiz here. Normally you wouldn't have a quiz up in this section, but I put that here just as a reminder to make sure that you get that syllabus quiz done first thing this week before you start anything else. Next is the lecture heading, and every week for lecture you'll have a chapter lecture and a chapter quiz. Now there are a few weeks that we cover 2 chapters in the chapter lecture and we have 2 chapter quizzes, and this is because this is a summer term And so we have more to fit into fewer weeks than we would in the regular term. So most weeks you'll have 1 chapter and 1 quiz, but occasionally you'll have 2 chapter lectures and 2 quizzes. Some weeks you'll have a discussion. Some weeks you'll have an outline due on the chapter that we're covering. Some weeks you'll have both. Some weeks you'll have neither. It kind of depends on what other things you have going on during the week on what there is. But if you do have a discussion due for the week, then the initial post is due Wednesday, and the 2 replies to other students are due on Sunday. I'll go into more detail in future discussions on how to do the discussions. If you haven't taken bio with me in the past, there'll be a word count that you'll need to follow, and then you'll need to have citations with all of your postings in future discussions. In this week 1 discussion, it's pretty simple. It's just an introduction of yourself. There's also this week, there's the option to earn extra credit by contacting me, so you can click on that link here for more information. And then every week there'll be a lab heading below the lecture heading and a lab assignment. This first week, your only lab assignment is to order your lab kit. Make sure you get that done as soon as possible this week, as it takes 1 to 2 weeks to get your kit, and we'll be using your kit in week 3. So you'll want to make sure you get that ordered as quickly as you can as well. And all the information you need for ordering is in that link there. It's set up as a quiz format, and essentially all you'll do is once you order the kit, you'll go into the quiz, open it up, and say that you've ordered your kit, and then you'll get credit for ordering your kit for the week. So last up here are my tips for how to succeed in an online course. And the first thing that I would recommend at this point in the course is to start the quarter right. So in this course and any of your other courses, go into the course, check out the syllabus, check out all the assignments that you'll need to be doing, get your textbook, your lab supplies, any other things you need for your courses to get started, so that right from the beginning you're ready to do your assignments and you know what you need to do, so you don't get behind in this first week. Next would be reviewing the calendar each week. This helps you keep track of what you need to do, make sure that you're not missing an assignment for any of your courses. And by reviewing the calendar each week, kind of keeps you focused on making sure you're working on the assignments that you need to work on and looking ahead to what's going to be coming up. Next, I'd say make sure that you have a dedicated place and time to do your work. There are certain, all of us have different situations, but there are definitely situations when you have distracting noises, other family members, that make it hard to get work done. So if it's possible to do your work in the place where you can best focus and at a time when you are best able to focus on getting your work done. For myself, if I try to work with my kids around, I'm really unproductive. If I can get a few minutes to sneak away, I can get done in a few minutes what might have taken me an hour to do with all the chaos around me. So it's possible to find that quieter place to work that can really help be a time saver for you. Next is achieving a family, work, school, depending on what's going on in your life, balance. And by this I mean we all have different commitments that we need to meet, and it's not realistic to expect that school will be our only priority, especially on the online world, but we do have to work on trying to balance school with the other things that we need to do. So try to plan out as you look ahead to the quarter, planning when you're going to get your schoolwork done, when you're going to spend the time you need to with work or with family, and just juggling your schedules and trying to come up with a realistic plan of getting everything done that you need to get done, and not thinking that you're going to get all your schoolwork done for 3, 4, 5 classes in an hour once a week. So being realistic with your time for all of your different commitments. One of the other really big things to being successful is just staying on schedule. So if you have certain things you need to get done for the week, making sure you get those things done. When you get behind, it gets really hard to catch up because you have the current week's work and then past work that's due, and it can become really overwhelming. So if it's possible, try each week to get the assignments done that need to get done and not let them start piling up on you. Next, I'd say, excuse me, stay motivated. So there comes a certain point, I know for myself in the quarter, when I get really burned out and it's hard to keep moving forward with everything I need to get done. And I know when I was a student, it was the same way. Different people, I think, find that at different times, that they can really push through and get things done. And other times in the quarter, or really hard to stay focused. So whenever that happens, that you're feeling like it's hard to keep up on what you need to get done, remind yourself it's only a certain number of weeks. Try to make a plan of what you're going to get done each week to finish off the course, and try to keep up that motivation. Know that it won't be forever, and you will be done with course and with school before you know it. So just keeping up that motivation throughout the quarter. Next, I'd say participate. So if you get engaged in the class, you participate in discussions, ask questions, get help when you need to. It really all does make the course easier. Talking with other students about questions, about difficulties, and as I mentioned, getting help when you need help just makes the course much easier than trying to struggle through it by yourself if you're struggling on something. Next, look for study partners. So if there's anyone in the course that wants to work together with you on an assignment and you can work together and help each other out, that would be great. When you submit your assignments, what I'm looking for on my end is that you do the write-ups on your own, but you can certainly, if you have someone you want to do labs with or any other activities with, you can do the activities together. So you could have the same data, for example, for a lab, but then write up the questions to the lab questions in your own words, each of you, so don't each turn in the same assignment. And my last tip would be is if there's a week when you were able to work ahead in any of your courses, try to do that. So try to work ahead a little bit, and that way it'll lessen up the load and the pressure later on in a week when maybe you have a lot going on. So if you're able to work ahead, feel free, at least in this course, to do that. It's whatever's available, you're welcome to work ahead on. And so those are my tips. And as I think I mentioned earlier, one of the biggest things is just if you're struggling on something, don't sit and just struggle. If you're spending more than 10 minutes or so trying to figure something out, please feel free to send me an email or text message and ask for help, and probably can get you that help quickly so you're not sitting trying to figure something out on your own for hours and hours. So ask for help whenever you need it. I am more than happy to help. That's the end of our Getting Started with the Course tutorial. So good luck in the course, and please don't hesitate to contact me at any time with any questions as you get started.